Hi Aries, welcome to your weekly forecast for December 23rd through the 29th. We are with our little Rudolph deck again, our money manifesting affirmations again. It's hard to find holiday themed cards, so I did not do a different deck every week with you all. You'll have to forgive me, but we'll be switching up decks again in the weekly videos. Let's see what's gonna happen. What's coming up for Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the 23rd through the 29th. Here is your Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Okay, Monday, Tuesday, you have 9 of spades. So this doesn't surprise me because last week's energy, Aries, you all had a lot of real positive movement, even fast movement happening, okay? And so if you are beginning to see doors open or doors were opening, 9 of spades would be what we know in traditional tarot as 9 of swords, which could be anxiety, like anxiety, fear, things like this. So either you might be in a place in the beginning of the week where you have this fear of, oh my God, what if my luck has run out? Like, what if that's it? What if nothing good is going to happen? What if things are slowing down? Or it could be anxiety where you're just like, oh my goodness, all these things are changing. Things are moving forward. What if I'm not ready for it? What if I mess it up? What if people don't like me? What if people think I can't handle it? So 9 of swords could be anxiety. It could be a lot of self-judgment. It's a lot of what if kind of energy. It can be sleeplessness, insomnia. And when we have this card come up, Spirit is basically just saying, look, there's a lot of things you're worried about. And even though you might have logical fears, even though they're fears of things that are possible, it doesn't mean they're actually going to happen. So this card is inviting you to try to connect with your higher power, whatever that might be, and try to practice the habit of surrendering what is not in your control to your higher power. Take the steps that you can to be prepared. Take the steps that you can to bring about the positive changes that you want, right? Or to be ready or to protect yourself in certain situations. But that which is not in your control, you have to practice handing that over and surrendering what is not in your control and saying, here's what I can't control. Here's what I don't know how to change. You know, thank you for taking care of this for me. And then once you surrender it, let it go and allow yourself to try to get some rest. Allow yourself to try to get, some sleep, especially if you're not sleeping enough. Oh my goodness. You're going to make a lot of really emotional decisions. You're going to end up having a really hard time focusing. That's something that's going to cause issues or difficulties. You can't think of what to do next if you haven't had enough rest, or you might have big decisions ahead of you and you might not be able to make decisions because your thinking is foggy because you haven't rested. And when we're overly emotional because we're so tired, that's not a good time to make decisions. Now, as far as if you're not sure what you can change, if you're like, well, I don't know what's in my power. I don't know what's in my power. The Serenity Prayer is really great. That's like something that they teach in a lot of 12-step programs. And even if you don't have an addiction, it's still very useful if you're trying to, practice or figure out the art of surrendering. So the Serenity Prayer is, God, or you can say universe, higher power, whatever you want to say, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. So there you go. That's what you can kind of make as a prayer or affirmation to help you with that. If you want to take that little prayer and do it with the archangels, feel free as well. Raphael is really great for healing. Michael is really great for protection. Jophiel is really great for new beginnings. But you have a lot of fear right now in your head that is not necessary, right? And Spirit's trying to help you come out of that. Your Wednesday, Thursday card, Aries, is you have 10 of spades. So this is it. You're stressed out about a decision. And if I don't say myself, I kind of got chills. This is like a continuation of last week's reading. Because last week, you all had received basically a message about how you were going to have to put an end to something. And if you didn't, there was going to be a tower moment. Okay? And that this person or situation was holding you back. That you were coming up, that you were succeeding, but this person or situation was something that needed to be removed so as to stop holding you back. And now, sure enough, here you have 10 of spades, which would be in traditional tarot 10 of swords, which is putting an end to something. And right before that, you have 9 of swords. And this is a card, this is a deck that's been shuffled a lot, you know. But you have the 9 of spades followed by the 10 of spades. So I think some of this anxiety is because you're afraid about a decision you know you have to make to end something, to put an end to something, you know, whether you're walking away from a toxic job or whether you are walking away from a toxic relationship or whether it's a habit within yourself that you have to make changes. And in order to be able to keep those changes, maybe there's certain people you can't hang out with. You know, maybe you're trying to get out of alcohol addiction or food addiction. And there's just some people that when you hang out with them, you know, it's really hard to make good, healthy choices. Or to, you know, abstain from, you know, drinking or drugs or whatever. So you might be having anxiety about this decision that you're going to have to make. Well, those of you who watch my readings, you've heard me say it. 10 of swords over the years as a reader, even though I know in a lot of decks it's a scary looking card, I've seen it come up before really, really good things happen. Ultimately, the person I'm reading for, which in this case is you, Aries, has to make a big decision to put an end to something. And it's bittersweet. But they're making the decision to put an end to something. And once they do, then the doors start opening up. Then all of the energy starts clearing. Then the good new things start coming in. I do feel a lot of you are going to have Archangel Jophiel around you this week, helping you, preparing you for that new beginning. So if you happen to like smell the smell of roses, I know that happens with me sometimes, like just out of nowhere there'll be the smell of roses coming in, or like a rose, like a flowery perfume, or you might be seeing fuchsia or pink a lot. Those are colors she's associated with. Or you know, you might be seeing roses, or you know, seeing roses or you know, pictures of roses on TV or something that keep coming up, or you just happen to see them or be more aware of them. Archangel Jophiel is also aligned with the energy of the Virgin Mary. So if there's any of you who are Catholic or who have like a really Orthodox Christian background, you may feel like Mary is giving you a lot of signs. You may feel like the Virgin Mary is with you, or you might be feeling called to work with her. I feel like somebody's asking, what about Guadalupe? I don't know. Somebody's asking, what about Guadalupe? I'm not Catholic. I wasn't raised Catholic. I don't know about Guadalupe. So whoever's asking that, I'm sorry. I don't know. But sure, whoever you're feeling called to work with, please do. You know, but I do feel there might be that kind of like feminine energy coming in, you know, trying to help, trying to nurture, trying to nourish, trying to comfort as you're coming into this new beginning. Okay, I really, really feel a lot of you are getting ready for a really big new beginning. Like you're winding up for it, you're preparing for it. And get it out of your head, guys. You're not a sellout for doing this. It doesn't make you a sellout. That's the hardest thing about when you heal and when you break out of blocks, is sometimes there are people or situations you have to leave behind. It doesn't mean you're forgetting who you are or where you come from. Right? It doesn't mean that at all. It just means that you have to surround yourself with the good energy. You have to surround yourself with the right, you know, elements so that you can continue to grow. You know, you can't take a flower and plant it in a swamp and expect it to grow. A flower is not going to grow in the swamp. That's not where flowers grow. Other vegetation might grow, other plants might grow, but you have to have the right soil. You have to have the right soil. You have to have the right, you know, atmosphere. And it's an act of self-love to do that for yourself so that you can continue to thrive. Your Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, my darling. Excuse me. One moment here. Is 10 of clubs, 10 of wands. So you're going to do it. Whatever this is, you're doing it. I think this is the week that you're making that decision. And you're just like, you know what? This is it. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. You're coming to that completion. It can feel scary. Okay? It can definitely feel scary. But understand and know that you are having the support from your angels and guides to make this decision. And 10 of wands is saying that you're going to follow through with it. You're going to be able to do it. I also really want to draw your attention to the fact that your numbers here this week are 9, 10, and 10. 9 has to do with spiritual enlightenment. Okay? 9 has to do with spiritual enlightenment. And 10 has to do with completion, finishing something, finishing a cycle. The fact that you have 10 repeating twice, it's like the universe is giving you confirmation, Aries. It's okay to let this go. It's okay to let this go. Whatever was going to be done here has been done. There's no use in waiting for a leaf to be turned over or for something to change or if there's something else for you to learn. Whatever you were meant to take from this experience, you've taken it. It's complete. It's done. So 10 is being emphasized twice. Another way I want to look at this is from a numerology kind of way. And I don't mean to freak you out, but some of you are going to get freaked out right now. At least those of you who are in the United States. If we drop the zeros from the 10s, because 0 is a non-existent number. If we drop the 0 and we're left with the 1, you have 911. Right? Here in the United States, 911 is emergency, right? Like something is happening, emergency, we dial 911 so that we can have help come in immediately. Like there's an emergency happening. So I don't necessarily feel like there's an emergency where you have to be afraid, but I do feel Spirit saying it's urgent. It's urgent that you follow through with this. It's urgent that you take the steps to protect yourself from what is no longer serving you energetically. You might be having an energetic or a spiritual emergency, okay? 911 is also a number that might come up a lot, where you might be seeing it around you. I know I used to have it happen where I would see 911 a lot. And like on addresses or just in parts of, like, I would just see it a lot. I'm like, what the heck, what's going on? And I really had to meditate for the longest time before I understood why I was being shown 911. Now you can take it from a numerology standpoint and say, it's 11 and you're manifesting. But what came to me in meditation and what was true for me, it may not be true for you, but what was true for me was that 9 is a number of spiritual evolution, spiritual growth, enlightenment. 11 is manifesting. And when I put those together, I have the connotation of like, oh, emergency. So it would tell me that you're kind of in a spiritual emergency right now because the thing that you're manifesting is taking you away from your path, right? Or the actions that you're allowing, that you've manifested to this point, is not in alignment with your spiritual path. It's time to go a new direction. It's time to manifest the new things, right? The old things that you've already manifested, those need to go. And it's time to go in a new direction with what is helping you to grow spiritually and to continue to enlighten you. So that's just something there for you to think about. It might not be true for all of you, but you know, they are general readings. Let's go ahead and see what money affirmation card is coming up for you, Aries. Let's see what's coming up for Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. For manifesting abundance. You have support. So this is the thing. I think some of you are just getting rid of non-supportive people. Okay? Now, I hope this card is not offensive to anybody with the Native American symbolism. I definitely am not someone who sees Native Americans as like a, you know, as a mascot or anything like that. I do have a lot of respect for the culture. I'm very fascinated with the culture. And I just kind of take this to mean like the tribal support, right? The Native Americans have a lot of traditions about, you know, being in unity and the tribe helping each other, right? And, you know, a matter of survival, right? Like being together, sticking together. And so I feel like this is meant to just kind of say that you are finding your tribe, or you're manifesting your tribe. Okay, that's kind of how I take the symbolism here. But feel free to look at it and see what's jumping out at to you, how it speaks to you, and, you know, the messages that you may kind of take. Another thing that I do know about the Native American culture with the feathers that they would wear, they are symbols of bravery or acts that they've done for their community or for their tribe. But if I'm not mistaken, they also believed that the feather was like an antenna to access information from spirit, to receive messages from spirit. So I feel like there's a symbolism there too, is that as you're doing these things, as you're taking these courageous steps in your life, as you're doing things to be a good and loving person to others and take that high road, you're earning these experiences that are going to help you to be more in tune with spirit and to hear spirit, you know, as you are surviving and doing it in a high vibrational way. Your next card here, I mean, your affirmation here is, I surround myself with supportive people who believe in my dreams. So that could be a lot of it too, is you just might have people who are just talking down to you or being very negative about the changes, or telling you that, you know, you're being foolish for believing that things can change. And that's not the case. You're not being foolish at all. So, you know, I always say when you write down an affirmation, you give it more power to put it in your own handwriting. So please be sure to do that. And then if you say the affirmation first thing in the morning when you wake up, or the last thing at night before you go to bed, this is going to make it more powerful to help it stick in your brain, because that's when your brain is switching over from the conscious to subconscious and vice versa. So you're planting that thought so that it can stick. It's like a really great way to reprogram your thinking. Okay, if you want to chant it throughout the day to yourself, you can. If you want to incorporate it in prayer or meditation, you can. But this is a really great affirmation, you guys. And please be sure to watch your moon sign and rising sign. Like I said, it could resonate with you more or bring you extra information. I would really suggest, Aries, that you guys, especially those of you who haven't already, I would especially suggest that you watch your channeled messages for December, because I feel like you guys are at a crossroads and some of you are nervous about the steps you're having to take. So watch the channeled messages for December. That could be helpful for a lot of you. Some of you might be looking for more love and romance information. Love readings, link to that is in the description as well. I do the love readings separate on the channel. But I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. Around the time this video is up, you should see most of the 2020 forecasts up. So be sure to check out your 2020 forecast, and personal readings should be up as well. I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. I am wishing you a fabulous week, my dears.